hospital. From the start, the judge acknowledged all of the attention around this case. Video of the March 8th fight, which happened off campus and after school hours, spread quickly online. The judge made a point of saying it's his job to be neutral. In Missouri, there are 10 factors a judge must consider in these cases. Those include the seriousness of the crime, if the accused has a juvenile record, and their maturity level, which involves looking at their home life. Juvenile officers get that information and then put it into an investigative report. In court today, the judge said he...
Good people. Welcome to another episode, Rev Mio TV, Rev Mio TV. Hey, man, we got to do something, man, to help our youth, man. We got to do something to help our youth, man. Everybody plays a part in it. Everybody has a responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Before we dial 911, before we call the police on our youth, ask ourselves the question, have we tried to reach out to them first? Have we tried to extend the olive branch to them first? Have we tried to pour wisdom into them first? Okay? Just something to think about. Hey, I want to talk about something today, man, for a few minutes. I want to talk about this situation with the young 15-year-old girl and the 16-year-old girl by the name of Kaley Gain, right? And you may have seen it all over YouTube. They got into a fight about a month and a half or so ago, right? And the little white girl was badly beaten. The black girl, she was 15 years old. She beat, the other little girl, man, and it's a sad situation, man, to see it, period, and it was brutal. Kaley Gain was hospitalized. She was in a coma, and she is now at home after being in the hospital for like a month, something like that. And she's recovering, and she's in therapy. She's going to have to continue to, do therapy and stuff like that. And she's in speech therapy. So it was bad, right? But here's the situation, though. The 15-year-old black girl was taken into custody. She was locked up in juvenile, right? The little girl, the 15-year-old, she's an honor roll student. Very smart. No history of disciplinary actions. Doing so well in school that she was allowed to skip the 7th grade, right? Stable home life, mother and father. But after this brutal fight, where this black girl hurt this white girl so badly, a lot of people are calling for the black girl to be charged as an adult. Well, I disagree with that. Should there be some actions taken? Yes. Right now, that little girl been locked up for 2 months in juvenile detention. She's been locked up for 2 months in juvenile detention. And I get it, man. The other little girl got hurt. But to the contrast, Kaley Gain, the little white girl, she had all the issues. She's the one with all the disciplinary actions. Her own father have even come forward and admitted, that she was basically a problem child. And that don't take away from what happened. She shouldn't have, been injured like that. I get it, man. But at the end of the day, it was just a fight. And so let me take a look at something right here. And y'all look at what happened right here, man. So first of all, in order for a juvenile to be charged as an adult, they have to go through what's called a certification hearing. A certification hearing. That means that if I was a juvenile and I committed a crime, well, just because I committed a crime and it was violent and it hurt somebody, they can't just simply charge me as an adult. The certification hearing, what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to look at the juvenile themselves. They're supposed to look at the individual themselves. So they're supposed to look at this 15-year-old little girl and investigate her. What's her school record? What's her disciplinary record? What's her record where in regards to getting in trouble and things of that nature, right? That's what a certification hearing basically does. And then they have to make a determination to say, do they feel like this is kind of an isolated event, isolated incident, or do they feel like this will be a pattern of behavior? If they feel like it'll be a pattern of behavior, then they're more likely to charge the juvenile as an adult. But if they look at it and they say, well, no, this is just something that, just happened, it was a bad choice, it's a mistake, this juvenile should not be charged as an adult, right? So let's look at what kind of took place, right?
Smith says she's 15 years old, and the Attorney General, like most people who believes she should be certified as an adult, doesn't know all of the facts.
One of the general rules about certification hearings is the focus is supposed to be on, on the juvenile and not on the alleged conduct.
Smith says his client was a sophomore on the honor roll at Hazelwood East, taking AP courses, and was a member of the orchestra.
She comes from a great family, a great home, has no prior history with the juvenile court. The court is asked to look at, is there a history here? Is there a repetitive pattern of crimes, offenses committed by this juvenile that say, hey, she's beyond the reach of the juvenile court. She can't be rehabilitated.
Christine Byers. The officer concludes the 15-year-old wouldn't repeat this, having no priors, and recommends the judge keep her case in the juvenile system.
So we certainly agree with the juvenile officer. I'm glad that they made that decision. They handle these types of cases every day.
The 15-year-old girl's attorney presented the judge that she has a stable home life, is a good student with high grades, and even called the girl's Spanish teacher in to vouch for
leaving
her.
her family to campaign for the 15-year-old to be tried as an adult for the alleged attack. Atlanta Black Star again. However, Marnice's family, though regretful the fight ended with Gain being hospitalized, argued that the behavior was abnormal for Marnice, who has good grades, no history of disciplinary issues. Multiple teachers also testified about Marnice's academic success and good behavior in court on Friday. 15-year-old skipped the 7th grade and was an honor roll student, according to those who took the stand. The juvenile officer who reviewed school records also pointed out that Gain had been suspended the day before the brawl for fighting another girl. Greg Smith, an attorney for the DeClue family, previously told local outlets that due to the suspension, Gain was not supposed to be near school grounds that day and returned to the area to settle a score that stemmed from the previous fight with one of Marnice's friends. Clinton Gain, Kaley's father, previously told the New York Post that he found text messages showing that the two girls had agreed to the fight that day. He also admitted that his daughter was constantly in trouble for physical altercations with other students. Members of Kaley's family seemed to backtrack in an impact statement to the court on Friday after months of demonizing Marnice. There's more. St. Louis County Circuit Court Judge Jason Dodson ruled against the motion despite the number of witnesses speaking highly of the teen's character. However, Dodson said his decision was made to safeguard Marnice, a Black girl who has reportedly received several death threats since the video went viral. We'll be discussing that excuse. We will be discussing.
This judge, despite the fact that this little girl does not have a blemish on her record prior to this thing happening, this judge decides, he says, well, even though the juvenile officer recommended that the case remain in juvenile court, even though that this little girl had a community of people speaking up for her on her behalf, testifying about her character and everything, the judge says, no, we're going to keep her in custody. And he said to safeguard her, to keep her safe. Man, come on, man. That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous to keep that little girl in custody. And I'm not saying that there should be no punishment. I'm not saying that, man. You know what I'm saying? But it should be kept in juvenile court for the case. And me personally, I don't think the girl should serve no time. She been locked up for 2 months. I know people who've been to jail and been to prison, been in and out of jail and prison, on probation, go to jail for something else, and bond out and get out. Why you holding this little girl in jail, man? You know what I'm saying? There should be an outcry. I know everybody won't agree with what I'm saying, but hey, this Real Mio TV, we gotta save our youth, man. I hate that this happened to Kaley Gain, but also the 15-year-old little girl right now. It's like it's as if the system is looking to railroad her. And that shouldn't happen, man. It just shouldn't happen. It's an unfortunate situation. We all should learn from it, and we all should begin to pour more into our youth, okay? Rev Mio TV, love y'all, be blessed, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.